Good morning, everybody. How we doing? Bob Volks here for the Gilly Glue. We're just about to work up the ground here for the habitat creation program that's fully displayed here on our YouTube channel. We've got ourselves a little toy here for today. I'm kind of excited about that part of thing. Being an old farm boy, I haven't been on a tractor for quite a while. So we have this nice little four-wheel drive Kubota that we've rented for the day, and have a nice big tiller on the back end of it. We just have our plant matter that we're going to plant here. So what we have, first thing we have is a full bag of native prairie meadow mix. It has a wide variety of different grasses: evening primrose, flowering bluegrass, all kinds of things like that. That are native to Ontario and native to across North America. We're also incorporating two different types of annual flowers. One's dedicated or directed toward the for bee pollinators, and the other is a butterfly mixture that we're going to add into this package. We're going to mix it all up, and then we're just going to hand broadcast it across this area here. If you're familiar with our habitat creation program that we have on YouTube, you'll remember that in the wintertime I did a little section here, and so this is the spot kind of around us here that we're going to work up. Our flowering, our river birch is coming quite well. It's a late bloomer, if you like, and then it's just now starting to get its leaves. And unfortunately, we have a bit of a problem here where we're going to have to do something about this tree. This was a maple, hard maple, that we planted about 4 or 5 years ago. Last year the gypsy moths got into it. I did everything I could, water, this, that, and the other thing, manage the soil and what have you. And as you can see here, it only has about a quarter of the branches flowered out. It's unfortunate because it's probably about a 7 to 10 year old tree. It's about 2 inches in diameter at the base and that kind of stuff. So it was coming very nicely, and the leaves were crimson orange last fall, so it was very, very nice. So unfortunately, I'm going to have to take that out before we start tilling up the ground, and then we're just going to work in this corner. Our serviceberry tree is doing very well. It's just finishing the bloom, and our nesting boxes are here along with it, just on the edge of the river. This box here isn't have anybody in it at the moment, but the box we have across the yard and the one out front has nuthatches and the other has chickadees in it. And then the other section that we're going to work on is right here. We're going to fill that up. So we'll going to do some prep work here, then we're going to get the tractor fired up, and we'll be back to see you. So I got the root and the tree cut out. It's unfortunate we had to cut down that maple, but anyway, that's what happens. So I got that out of the place, and we're going to fire up the tractor here and see if we can start turning up some dirt. Let's have some fun. I saw a guy used to go that, whatever that guy's name was. It's the best I could do with what I got to work with, eh? Okay, let's see what happens with this baby. It's a nice Kubota four-wheel drive diesel tractor, but as they say, and as I am, I've been around the orchard a couple times. Okay, we're making some progress here. Sorry, I'm a little, just got off the end of the round pointed shovel for about 3/4 of an hour, picking some stones, picking some stumps out, well, roots and stuff. Anyway, we're making some progress here with our little project. Been about 2 hours over with the rototiller. Got about 20 pounds of mulch mixed in with the second round of tilling, and it's starting to take some shape. So we'll spin this around and let you take a look-see. So it's working out pretty good. It's still kind of rough soil. I still think I'm going to add a little bit of something just to kind of give it a little more nutrient and less sort of rough fill. Our house was built here in 1997, and the lot was built up a fair bit. You can see the, I'll swing around here. See, I'm not sure if you can see the depth down, so we're up about 5 feet over the water level there, so that's what the lot was built up, and some of the soil's pretty rough. So we're making progress, we're getting there. It's going to take shape here really quick. Got it cleaned up mostly, a little bit more to do. So I've got, just for the record, I have so basically a day's work here. An hour or so on the shovel, 2-3 hours on that tractor. That rental for the day delivered and take back was about $300. I got about $200 in my plant matter, and a little bit in some fertilizer and some mulch. So this habitat creation here is going to be in for about $500 and a little bit of sweat equity, and do a whole lot of good for the environment. So these rock elms, I'm just going to take the bottom out of the thing and put the whole container in. It'll decompose, it'll provide nutrients and things. I'm just going to leave that open like that, plant the tree itself. These are about a 3-year-old rock elm tree. And then we'll just put them in like that, maybe tear it up a little bit on the side and give it some good manure and some peat moss, and some of those leaves will decay and also give it nutrients, and it'll be good to go. This guy's the healthiest of the bunch. Little spider in that leaf there, but we'll get rid of him. I'm going to plant him in partial shade, just to give it a little more opportunity so it doesn't get burnt. It gets quite hot here, although you can see we are shaded this time of day. The sun comes around over this way, because we're facing basically straight west here. So we're going to give this big guy, the dominant one, a little more shade. I say by rights, I probably should have another 2 bags of that put on top there. That's just a skim. Probably should have been, you know, a couple inches, an inch deep on top of there. I'm going to put some manure on top of it. Then I'm going to plant. Hopefully, we're supposed to get some rain this afternoon. So it's May the 30th, and I got calling for thunderstorms and some rain this afternoon. So I thought, well, we'll take advantage of that. It shows up, and then maybe once things get started a little bit, I'll top dress it again after. But I'm just doing it this way, kind of willy-nilly in a way. When I had time, for one, 2, what I had available, and just kind of getting it done, just to kind of show that it doesn't really matter. You know, it doesn't have to be complicated. It doesn't have to be a strict criteria that you have to follow. Just kind of get it done. These grasses are hardy that I'm going to put in. I'll show you the ingredients and stuff as we go along here. Time for some wild grasses. So it's about 26 by 24 is the actual dimensions. And on our, so this is the native Prairie Meadow mix. To that I'm going to add 2 different packs of wildflowers, one dedicated towards bees, the other is dedicated towards butterflies. This package, they have a calibration here that to sow at about 8 ounces per 1,000 square feet. So I'm about half the bag, give or take. I'm kind of, you know, one more for the fiddler, I had an uncle used to say. More beer for the fiddler. Anyway, I'm going to give this just a little extra, about half of this bag. I'm going to mix it in this little container I have here. And I'm going to add a 25-gram package of bee pollinator mixture and a 25-gram package of beneficial insect mixture is the actual name. All of this stuff came from an Ontario company out of Waterloo. They grow their seeds, packaged in Ontario. It's a Canadian product. It's native strains as much as possible. I both had a good conversation with the fellow in Waterloo. They kind of do deal with more of a larger commercial applications, but they were happy to ship me this. You can see it's kind of nice stuff. Little flower seed pods and stuff that have opened, and it's full of seed. There didn't seem to be a lot of waste or chaff in the bottom or anything. It seemed to be all very good. So I wasn't worried about maybe mixing up. I did mix up the bag just a little bit before I opened it as I walked over, but it's pretty much the way it was. Oh, there we go. So we got our stuff in the ground. We're going to see what happens. I might get the hose and give it a little spray, kind of wash it down a little bit, just get down into the soil this touch, give it a little shot. But then we'll go from there. You might have noticed that I maybe put it on a little heavy over on this side. I kind of got a little over anxious with the amounts there, but we'll see what happens. We'll spread it around, and maybe I'll give it a little rake even, with a loose rake, like a leaf rake, and just kind of distribute it around and maybe impregnate it in the ground a little bit. But otherwise, it's there, and next video will be planted up on the ground, hopefully. Thanks. Talk to you soon.